This phone call disturbs me at first. And then I become enraged and it makes no sense. And I think that I don't care, but it's not my fucking birthday. It reminds me that he hasn't remembered my fucking birthday in what seems like forever, or at least since the day I challenged his manhood, left him fearful of the possibility of me, the oldest of four, me who learned at an early age exactly what bullshit smelled like, walked like, talked like. The day he snapped and took my memories of him as daddy away, threw them away like mental garbage. The day of my rite of passage, a rite not forged from ancestral beginnings, but urbanized, cloaked in domestic violence. The day he decided to use my mother as his punching bag. And the irony of this being Mother's Day brings it back in a flood. The only true memory of my father. No wonder he can't remember my fucking birthday. Something undoubtedly changed for him the day he learned his daughter feared no man, least of all her father. He hit her like she was a man, teaching us something my 9-year-old mind refused to believe were the actions of a man. Don't hit her again. My voice not quavering in my memory, he looked me in the eyes and I could have plucked them, his eyes, from my head, not to have seen this picture, but then I never would have seen the look in his eyes when I held the knife to his throat. Don't hit her again. He moved as if to disarm me. The serrated edge fixed around this used to be daddy's Adam's apple, fruit easy to slice, old Ginsu commercials scrambling his reality, and my eyes never left his eyes, shifting in their sockets, looking towards the door in hopes of possibly escaping, in hopes of fleeing this now tainted space. Hell, we all wanted to leave. Trapped in the fear, or maybe it was the eyes, his eyes, my father's eyes, no longer held the honor of being my dad. He just beat it out of me, just as sure as he'd struck me instead of my mother, because no daddy of mine would teach that lesson to his children. No daddy of mine would force me to protect mine from mine. No daddy of mine would fear the love I have for my family, and no daddy of mine would forget my fucking birthday. And it's here. It's always here. It's in the eyes. Thank y'all for listening to that. So my brother Hassan, some of you know him, he is like the balm on everything. He's like trying to make everything cool. He's been working really hard to try to get him to like know these beautiful people on this side of his tree. And yeah, he almost made a nice little bookie, and he died the day before his 80th birthday. That would have been cool. I could have wrote about that. Okay, so Shannon Lee has been in my brain. She was in my dream last night, and I think it's probably a lot of the church talk I've been talking about, and like remembering how I made Sunday school teachers cry. Right? So, and this is the poem specifically that was in my head. It's called What Have I Done? She stands, hands shaking, lips moving in prayer to the God they tell her is not listening. Outside, it is cold, and the faces of her attackers line the cement walls like bathroom tiles. She has come to kill her baby. That is what they say. Holding pictures of cut up stillbirths, trying to convince her that the thing inside of her is shaped like us, when 2 days earlier on the ultrasound, the nurse showed her the gills. She does not need anyone to tell her it is more than a clump of cells. At 8 weeks, she already knows her daughter's colors, baby blue and bright pink like infant fireworks, the shape of nose and eyes, so very familiar. This child who would grow up to welfare and gunshots, asking why thunder seems so close. And here daddy was. She stands and prays. Daughter, look away from this world and be with God. There's no mercy in the street for little girls, and I would not be able to protect you from monsters. I was 12 when my mother failed me. They called her murderer. Her heart stretches out and touches tendrils that one day could be human. I have been there. stood before protesters telling me God wants my baby to be born, while I remembered the faces of the children I worked with, 7 to a bedroom, eating rice for 3 days and starving for 4, the children, too old or so-called troubled to find homes, whose homeless mothers birthed them on cardboard boxes and cut the cords with broken vials. Oh yes, the world surely needs more babies, whose parents would not be able to educate them because their own educations were cut short, who know daddy as the man who hurt my mommy and who never knew they were anything less than wanted children. No. They flounder under the weight of their parents' bitter yokes and grow to question their very worth. My clump of cells would grow up seeing my dead dreams twinning around my arms like vines, holding me down to this life I could learn to love. But that is not why God made words spill from my mouth in desperate torrents. That is not why God made a heart strong enough to make my own decisions. I pumped chemicals into my body for years, skin browning from untested carcinogens, condoms break. And despite the rhetoric of fundamentalist men afraid of the sacred sex, is beautiful if done right and consciously. What drove me to this, they say, God can help you manage. But last time I checked, it's been 1,000 years since lost children were rained down manna. And if your God knows me like I believe he does, fully and intimately, exposed and unworthy, my beginnings and my ending, he already knows what I am doing. Do not question your God's omnipotence in my name. It is blasphemy. To say you know more about my body than the creator of it, I stand. I love my child more than my life, and that is why I will not let her be resented. I won't bear no child who thinks love means war, who will tell women making the choice to save 2 lives that they are whores, who believe God created the universe in 7 days and man can interrupt it in 4. I stand. And with all the women who should stand proudly, forced to shove secrets into boxes, I ask, what have we done that you wouldn't have? Gone too soon? Shannon Lee. Yeah, you can't find this, I don't think. Me and Karen, we have copies, and we may let you borrow them, but no. You will hear them on the mic. Y'all put your hands together now for Karen G.
Hi. It's been a hard year already. Already. On that note, I hope Shannon gets to say hello to my friend Nathan, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. This is a Nathan poem. It's called Don't Wait. Don't wait until the moon falls from the sky before you start to write that poem about your mother and how you love her so much that behind closed doors, her love makes you dance like the ballerina you want to be in your dreams. And forget that. You're so afraid of the ballerina you see in your dreams because you're afraid that if you step on your toes, they might break. And forget about the toe that you'll break when you try to be the ballerina you are behind closed doors, because you love your mother so much that you're waiting to write until the moon falls from the sky. Don't wait for God to give you that license to write, because if you're here and you want to write, he gave you that license to write, and he gave you that license to speak, so you better write and you better speak. Don't waste God's time while he's giving you the test, waiting to administer you to your test so he can give you that license to speak while you write. God's time is wasted while you speak and write. Don't be like my friend who's taken 20 years to write the world's greatest novel but has never shown a page to anyone, because she'd crumble from the criticism if anyone gave her praise, if anyone gave her a suggestion, because sometimes someplace years ago, someone told her writing is a solitary act, and that was the only excuse she needed to write in private when her husband was at work. And her son was at school while her husband was on business trips, while her son was writing poetry, performing open mics in the street, in the parking lot, at Island Burgers, in the bathtub while his friends were doing laundry, while his bed was breaking away from the frame, while she was in the bathtub when her husband was on business, and her son was at college performing poetry at open mics. Don't be in the relationship where your partner is only supporting you halfway. Be in the one where she's with you all the way. Be in the one where he's with you when it gets hard. And if she gets mad at you because you have to write a line down in the middle of sex, find a new partner. And if he gets mad at you because you have to write a stanza when he's in the mood, find a new partner. And if your family gets mad at you because you can't wake up on time because you are writing too much, love them anyway. Listen to their words, their cadence, their phrasing, write them in poems, write poems around them, through them, write poets on them, in their breath, let poems dance in them, because somewhere someone is sitting in a gutter, their knees in the fetal position, somewhere someone is holding a gun to somebody's temple, somewhere someone's temple has a gun held to their head, somewhere someone is crying, is holding their baby, angry, is holding their soft baby gentle, moaning, is losing their job, is finding a job. Somewhere, someone may die today, and your words may make them sit on their hinges. So that was a Nathan Say poem, and that's how we do. We keep poets alive by sharing their poems. And I just have been doing kind of like a poem a day thing, drafting, since the new year started. Just from the 11th, a draft. Icy rain, wintry mix, clods of wet slush. It's cold wherever I am. Windy toss about brown, hay beige, storm fields, hints of green. Empty brooms of trees line milky sugar gray skies like this for days, which fuzz into one another. I want snow to make a pretty softening of all the ugly. I am too aware of my heart heavy. It's too fast beating. My newly acquired high blood pressure medication, the scary glucose levels, the way tests don't show long COVID, but all of the signs emerge to me in this menopausal body, now gutting, forms of purge gutting my gutter guts and how they twist. I'm involuntarily meditating. My new ASMR is the sound of whisking paintbrushes, whispering lines, edges, and then the sound of the roller, the painter gulping sweet tea, wintry mix on the roof. I close my eyes to feel the pistachio and the sky blue colors dry. I remember the feel of new roller, soft as shaggy carpet now made sticky, spiky, gloppy. I am raw. I am edged. I am bubbled. I am waves, slow and heavy like the bucket of primer sitting in a cold room. I will have to molt from this. I am not the same. I can't hold my community in the ways I'm used to. Not this time. Not with this loss. I don't have the blues. Blues would be a much brighter color than where I am now. Out in the country, borderless. Yet another maplessness and legends are only gilfs carved, dug, etched grooves by friendly phantoms. This loss is a fresh ink, stingy and needled before the sunburned shed of it. What do you call the unalived ancestors of your chosen family? That's that new draft right there. And now I have this beautiful list of all these poets. Gonna go in order. Robert Brown, where are you? Robert Brown and your daddy. Right. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hey, this is called The Power of Prayer. The church, 2 storefronts wide, wedged into the city block. In the vestibule, I'd fold $1 and slip it into the metal slot of the pour box. On a worn desk, votive glasses filled with paraffin, I'd light a taper from another candle, already glowing, carry the fire with a twist of my wrist, one to another like Prometheus, then say a prayer for Vita. But it was for all of us, that we'd get through this all right. The room would be a little brighter. The winter heavy outside, the wooden doors. I'd look down at the flames dancing around the blackened wicks and didn't wonder what other prayers were said. I went once a week. I never saw another person. Praying in the dark to the lit candle, not knowing who I was praying to. Maybe an angel inside the flame. It wasn't faith, but a thin hope that my prayer would be answered. I was down to the only option I had. Everything else was out of our hands. Hear me, angel. Respond to my plea. This is percussion, and it's for Carl Brown, no relation. We used to work together, and we called ourselves the Smith Brothers. So part of his severance from the U.S. Forestry Service, Carl's old Suburban shakes to a start. He pulls the choke out, listening for when the engine will catch. Head cocked like a safecracker at the dial, a vice grip wrench on the rod instead of a knob. Green and white and rust from winters in Idaho. Car tires lost in oversized wheel wells. A winch frozen on the front bumper. Fog lights punched out, boxer's eyes at the end of the 6th round. Rattling, it puffs blue smoke like a 10-cent cigar and throbs uncertainly. Carl keeps his hand on the cold metal and his foot on the gas, playing for the right mixture that will allow him to go upstairs and let the truck settle itself. He walks slowly to the front door, stops and sniffs the air for a sign of what the weather will bring, which way the red-tailed hawk is circling, and what the crows are squawking about. When the exhaust has blown itself clean, he comes down, pushes in the choke, slows the engine, shifts into reverse. There's a pause and a scraping sound, and the truck pulls back, then forward and off into the day. Thanks. This is called cleaning windows, one of 1,000 jobs I've had in my life. When we left Brooklyn and moved to Ohio, I hung the battered print of Peter Bruegel the Elder's wedding feast in our kitchen, as we did wherever we moved. I marked up the want ads with a thick carpenter's pencil for the second shift, so I could take care of Vita during the day, and Anna was at graduate school. I landed a job as a janitor. My mother was bereft for the second time in 5 years. She put on sackcloth. This is why we sent you to college, she moaned. For me, the isolation was numbing. I felt like a bear hibernating. My friends got off from work when I was just starting and were in bed when I got home, too late to call. The lights were out. I sat in the kitchen, wound up for my 8 hours, looking up at the poster diagonally lit from a street light in the alley. That week I was assigned to wax the hallways. It wasn't wax, actually, but a liquid plastic to coat the floor. The generic name was finish. We stripped off the old coating. I poured the finish into a clean bucket and used the wringer to lightly squeeze the excess liquid. It had a cloudy white color, like diluted skim milk. So swinging, when you should have smelled it. Swinging the mop head in a wide arc in braids would release the finish in a fine, clear coat as it slid along the floor. I walked backwards, a metaphor for my career path. The way I operated this simple machine, the mop floated on the liquid silently, up and back, letting the momentum, the weight do the work like a pendulum. One hand at the top of the handle, the other in the middle, like ballroom dancing a bit, though I was more like Ginger Rogers than Fred Astaire. Patiently sway, dip in the bucket, squeeze, back on the floor, cha-cha-cha. And I thought about the Bruegel. Soon all the peasants were around me, swinging, stomping, spinning in the Middle Ages. My life was nowhere in sight, just the movement, the couples, the formal step, lean apart, then together, bounce, surprise kiss. The pleasure of feeling the movement, following the colors within the frame, flapping like wings around the scene, the clean whiteness of the aprons and wrapped veils, the burnt orange of skirts and vests, round and round, up and back. By the second coat, the floor reflected like rainwater. My boss would inspect my work in the morning. I never got any feedback. If I didn't hear anything, everything was okay. My hands had blisters, but my shoes were polished in splatters. Thanks a lot.
I remember finish. Oh my God. The Arts Exchange. I don't know how many people in here know about the Arts Exchange. Get your life right if you don't know about the Arts Exchange. I'm just saying. Thank you all for who do know. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. I am really trying to manifest $4,000 so I can throw a big ass slam and give somebody $4,000. Put it in the world. So if you got $4,000, my email is, no, I'm just kidding. My Cash App is, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I remember finishing floors at the Arts Exchange. It is very unpleasant, and I'm pretty sure it was illegal. I was 16. Pretty sure that was illegal. Don't tell my mom. I told her business. Anyway, thank you so much, Robert, for sharing with us. Next on the mic, is that Margit? Did I say it right? Margaret? Margit? Margit? Wait, you put your name down and you don't, so you were just going to pretend you weren't in the room. I feel you. You were like, I didn't mean to put my name on it. I have met somebody said, write your name down. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't read what it said, open mic read. Okay. I'm just messing with you. I love you. And now this next handwriting is in cursive. Oh, Karen. You just follow suit. You just follow the leader. Denise, it's you. Yeah. So she just followed the leader. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all good. Okay, Brianna. Yes, on purpose. Yes, Brianna. Y'all put your hands together for Brianna coming to the mic.
Hey y'all, it's been a minute since I've been up here.
Hi. Okay, my name is Bree. I use she, they pronouns. Yeah, I'm gonna read, let's say 2 pieces. And I'm kind of in the right now. I'm just like I want to write about being gay. Like that's it. So that's kind of the road we're on. All right. Black queers kiss with tongue fast. The world is about to end. Rain is rising from the road, a runny egg bursting at the gentle touch of a fork slow. A river's carving into the earth, simmering gumbo, warm, under the glimmer of mid-morning light, hard, trying to imprint their mouth onto the others. Under the kaleidoscope of club lights, safety of shadows, soft, the first bite of banana pudding, careful, holding china, supporting a baby's head, syrupy sweet, candied yams. Ooh, okay, cool. Here we go. 15 was a threat, wrapped in tulle, tradition, too tight around my teenaged waist, as there was no finding myself in Catholic Mass, among the incense and the incessant sitting, standing, on your knees, standing. In boy-girl dances, I could damn well lead. Browsed ball gowns, but gazed at girls' faces and collarbones, no notice of sequins bodices, pretty silhouettes, pining for the boyish in-betweenness afforded to a smaller me. Pay less pumps scheduled to steal. How harshly they tipped my acne chin, lovingly said, mujer, a blessed cross to bear. Thank you. Happy New Year. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, and next coming up to the mic is Dick Betherick. That's Dick Betherick. Kind of nice flow. Yeah, okay. All right. Welcome, welcome.
So,
All right, you got it.
so I have to say, I'm kind of wondering what I'm doing here when I've heard these poems. But really, why I'm here is I love Charis books.
Yes.
I love getting there. I love Linda, Shay, ER, Sarah, Brown, my idol over here. So I wrote one poem, and it's a little different from what we've been sharing here, but in the moment, it was a movement for me, just like it is for everyone. So I'm going to go there, and it's kind of a show and tell, but I'm going to tell and then show. So this is Nepali Rapids, May 2023. A ladybug lands on the bony quad of my left leg. She flexes a brittle brown wing while bracing for the crash of a Class 4 rapid. I consider whether to flick her to the wind. Dive, exhorts our raft captain, and to the floor of the writhing raft, we obediently duck. Waves pummel from every direction, driven with an ominous roar, until, without notice, they assume silence and become, like nuns bent in prayer, still. My soaked senses cloak my giddiness as in the thrall of their powers, I thrill at the sucking sounds of breaking waves, their hydraulic curls surging over hooded rocks. Knowing this was but the first strike, I resume my perch on a slippery gunnel and marvel at the water's whims, when it will toss us like twigs in the wind, pin us like bugs on a leaf. So I sent this to my friend Andy Sheldon, and so he painted my poem.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so
That is awesome.
this is what he painted.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. And I got it yesterday. So thank you, Charis, for being here and for letting me be here.
It's all good.
Like this?
Enjoy the art. Hey, well, thank you so much for sharing. That's beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It makes me want to do an ephraxis right now. That's when you write a piece of poetry to a piece of art and see how many different poems we can come up with your poem. Art be great. So yeah, I was mentioning the Arts Exchange because I throw a slam there monthly, poetry slam and open mic. So you can do the open mic or you can do the poetry slam. And I have $100 that I'd be just trying to give to people. Well, no, you got to earn it, but you should totally partake. I also host Java Speak. Java Speaks is still happening. We are virtual. You can find Java Speaks on Instagram and on the Face of Books. We are every Sunday night. It is virtual, so you're at your home. You're nice and comfortable. You got your beverage or your dry January, whatever the hell you're doing, and then you share poetry with the community. We have folks that are international in our group now, so you should totally come and share your work. I'm just saying. Avery, hopefully you signed up on the right list to share your work, yes? Awesome! Y'all give it up for Avery!
Avery, I use he pronouns. So I used to come to Cliterati events to support my friends doing spoken word poetry when I was in college over 20 years ago, and that's how long I've been thinking about doing this. So a little terrified. Oh, yeah, I am short. Does that work? Okay. Thank you. It used to be sunny. The crack in the sky breaks open, revealing a lightning bolt of anger striking me in the heart. It sets me afire and begins to burn the love and happiness and safety from my soul until the ashes of my best self dust the steel shell that remains. The storm clouds, laden with heavy loads of icy fear, burst open and pour over me. I feel the sizzle as the residual heat of anger surrenders itself and evaporates into steam that clouds my senses. The deluge of overwhelming terror pounds against the cracks of my armor, filling me until the burnt out hearth of my heart floods. The drips, streams, and rivers relentlessly plink and flow and rage, overtaking the spaces that I fight to keep open. And what was once new, shiny, and protective transforms into a suit of ice, freezing me to the spot. The storms are unforgiving. They seem offended by the very pain they've caused. Displeasure is revealed in thunderous claps and fiery spears and catastrophic hailstorms. And all I can do is stand tall and survive, hoping the storms will one day pass and I'll still remember who I am enough to rebuild. Oh, thank you. All right. Electrified sandpaper sparking my brain, sending grating bolts of pain throughout my body, singeing and burning and blackening, incinerating the joy, comfort, and security, clearing the fields that create fertile soil for pain, fear, and shame. I want to turn my body inside out and show others, look, this is how this feels. Black blood dripping from microplaned organs. See me, hear me, believe me when I say that I'm in pain. That's very short. Thank you. All right, last one. All right. No matter the acceleration of sand whipping through time, no matter the ripping, devastating fear of loneliness, no matter the snaring beast of failure nipping at my heels, gardenias smell sweet. The sun majestically announces itself as brilliantly as an opera diva taking her stage. The world pulses life into ever-growing layers of an infinite fractal. Kittens, kiwi berries, Russian tea, coasting down a hill on my bike, nuzzling under a comforter in the winter, hiking with God while we explore their gifts. Music that transports across realities, and food that nourishes body and soul. Friendships that thrive longer than marriages survive. No matter the dark, heavy, all-encompassing pain, gifts of joy act as stars across an inky midnight, guiding me back home. Thank you.
I love it when supporters become badass readers. That's awesome. Thank you. Another round there. That'd be great. Right. And now, because we have, and I read that as Vivaldi. I read her name as, Sir Deb Vidali. Yeah, hi. Hello. You're going to read. I love it. Awesome.
So is it Vivaldi or Vidalia? Either it's Vidali, yeah. But it's fun, like both of those, like the spectrum from onions to opera. Yeah. But right, yeah. I'm thrilled to be here, and wow, what a night. The first piece I'm going to read is a tribute poem. I was invited to write a tribute poem to a feminist scholar upon her retirement. And 100 people were asked to write a poem of 100 words. So here's mine. Oh, and her book might be in the store somewhere. Kathleen Stewart, feminist scholar. Okay, so my 100 words for her. Flamethrower. Silenced, self-censored, tendered, and rendered as invisible, surrendered like a right breast via cancer amputation. I see you. Travel, laying waste to waste, a flamethrower, bringing beauty, bringing light to light along the road. Debris and detritus scorched like so much toxic masculinity, one-upmanship, critique, and bracketing of an I. You see that I, a self, a feeling, a wince, a mother. Your words rise, undoing generational damage, doing generational heavy lifting. Road opening, road refusing, road reconstructing. Pathfinder, signposter, traveler disruptor, arsonist. I thank you for all your searing, fiery, gentle fragments, ditches, and repairs. Flamethrower. For Kathleen Stewart. So the next thing that I want to read is also a little bit of show and tell. So I'm glad We had Mr. Patrick. Thank you. It's about a trip to Albany, New York. It's a trilogy called Two-Row Repair. And Albany is the capital of New York State, an area where I'm from. And I took a trip there last year to understand a little bit more about my Dutch ancestors going back 10 generations to the 1600s. They arrived and were engaged in treaty making with the indigenous people there, the Mohawk. So part of my show and tell is a replica of a treaty that my people, my Dutch ancestors, made with the Mohawk. It's a wampum treaty, if you know wampum. It's a beaded contract. It says that we live in perpetuity through the river of life in mutual respect, the indigenous people and the European arrivers. So this was formed 400 years ago as a treaty near Albany. It's called the Two-Row Wampum, the treaty. It's 2 rows. So background to the visual part that has motivated the trilogy. Two-Row Repair. I'm going to use 3 words and phrases here. Nederlands means Dutch. Ginegahaga means Mohawk. And an acronym, NAGPRA, is about the Native American Graves and Repatriation Act, which is federal law governing the protection over Native American burials and objects. Two-row repair. The port of Albany is a NAGPRA crime scene. So scream the 6 train tracks hurtling to meet me as I drive a road not meant for cars. So whisper the old white estates buried along thick banks of Norman's-Cube. So worries the lone worker, a pale, crumpled man haunted by the emptiness of stacked shipping containers. Bloodless, he smokes at the dusty dead end, taking a lunch break until 3 p.m. The port of Albany is a NAGPRA crime scene unknown to Albany or NAGPRA. Towering mounds of scrap metal taunt scattered broken boats and rusted machine parts, knots of inert silos and nameless warehouses deny any contact with water. Industrial exhaustion blocks every memory that the river is fluent in Ginegahaga and Nederlands. Two-row repair, part 2. Knowing signatories agreed to row side by side 410 years ago, the river and I refuse erasure and all industrial exhaustion of life. We rebuild relations, not graves, beginnings that invite repair, and not 9/11 calls to NAGPRA. Knowing signatories agreed to row side by side 410 years ago, the river and I refuse erasure and all industrial exhaustion of life. We rebuild relations, not graves, beginnings that invite repair, and not 9/11 calls to NAGPRA. Knowing signatories agreed to row side by side 410 years ago, the river and I refuse erasure and all industrial exhaustion of life. We rebuild relations, not graves, beginnings that invite repair and not 9/11 calls to NAGPRA. 2-row repair 3. This is the final of the trilogy. Wampum bead 189. 9th row, 21st column, 2nd bow, purple, commits my family, binding us with every signatory in perpetuity. Centuries of readings and travel, warfare and deceit, celebrations and amnesia burn into this contract. With broken and vanished sinew, violated river, lost beads, and shredded families, I will find new muscles and substance to join our repairs. 2-row repair. Thank you.
Yeah, props.
I'm happy to pass this around if folks would like to see the wampum. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. I still have my Skechers bag. When I bought those shoes, they gave me that bag. I was like, what? Swag? I might buy another pair. Now it's my crochet bag. Put all my yarn in there. Thank you so much for sharing. That was beautiful. And thank you for the artwork. That is gorgeous. Y'all. So anybody in the room that did not sign up, that wishes to sign up, there we go. That's what I thought. Here you go. And then you bring it back up after the next reader. Right now, y'all put your hands together for Jill.
I slam at Arts Exchange. So I really understand that nervousness because boy, does that make me nervous. Wonderful poems though, wonderful poems. I was going to practice a slam poem, but I've done it here before and I think I won't. I've got some new poems and so I'm just going to read 3 small new poems. The first one is tiny. It's like a little portrait. So, you know, they used to make these tiny little miniatures. So I called it miniature. Tonight, her hair made quarter moons along her sepia cheek. Okay. I haven't been writing a whole lot because I've been sick like everybody else. But I'm finally feeling better. So this is a poem I wrote right around Christmas. The adept sends a Christmas gift. A few lines of a drawing, a clear guide, a list, formation, inept, beginner. Another image joins the composition. No drama, her body. In the turbulent chaos of a world caught in violence, the cat cries for her breakfast. The mind resumes. She cries again. The link holds the connection. You don't have to be distant. Winter rain gently blesses the dry ground like gratitude. Well, this is an old poem, but I kind of thought this was a good place to read this again. I haven't read it in a long time. It's called I Love Being a Lesbian. Across the room, I think some old dame will be making eye contact, strong and intense, when both of us are long past our expiration dates. I love marching and thinking we should be dancing, and years later dancing down that same street with the young ones still taking their shirts off, calling me ma'am, telling me all the new words for who I can be. I love getting older without getting stuck or bitter, still changing me and the world, like sisters or lovers surviving together. I want happy, not perfection. I want hearts floating through my mind's eye, someone at my door with flowers they've picked, maybe a bottle of dry white, maybe a poem written sweet for me. I want sparks flying like heat and me lit with a little joy. It's okay falling, because when someone offers me a hand and looks at me, questioning me, I feel better again, even when my reply is friend. Anyone can be either one, and I love that too. I love being a lesbian. I might not want to live any other way.
Thank you. May as well stay right there. Coming to the mic, y'all give it up for Billy.
Hi, everybody. All right, so I got a long one and then a short one, and then we're out of here. So this is one I wrote in November when we were all writing poems. And this is the parts before Frankenstein. Before the doctor and Igor and the shovels, before lightning kissed the body twitching and alive, the arms belonged to a boy who had a bouquet of flowers. The arms shook nervously toward the woman the boy loved, until suddenly a storm of bad neurons and blood burst through the boy's brain, and the arms went limp, and the flowers scattered like a gust of color, and the boy fell with just enough life in him to see the woman and think, look at me. The legs held up a woman who turned a cliffside into a citadel, who turned her eyes into spyglasses that scanned the horizon for any sign of the ship that sailed away with the woman she loved before she could tell her. The legs supported the woman, quiet, a weeping statue, until the rain swallowed her lungs like a cold ocean and she shivered and froze. The torso and its right basket of organs bounced inside a man in a mail coach, who spent years delivering letters and stopping to look at the one man on the mail route with blue eyes that ripped through him like bullets of frost every day. The driver wrote his feelings into a letter and dropped it off in the blue-eyed man's mailbox, and every night since went back to get it before it was discovered. Every route like this, until a faulty wheel and too much speed crashed the coach off the road and splashed the driver into the street and spilled his brains into the mud like so many letters from a sack. For a week, no one got their mail. For his whole life, the blue-eyed man would never know. The brain used to spark and ripple in the skull of a thief, who memorized safe combinations and patrol routes and hoped that all their work would add up to enough to woo the one they loved away from their high society spouse, until the law settled their debt with the snap of a rope. In the crowd at their hanging, their lover sighed and went back to their tea. Different body parts, the doctor said, brought together by lightning and sutures with nothing in common but his own ambition, but he could not know. Each one died alone. Each one died afraid. Each one died with longing and with love unrequited, until they all woke up, felt a stranger's arms, leaned on a stranger's legs, thumped their terrors through a stranger's heart, and thought with a stranger's brain how lovely it is to be together. There's a series of woodcuts of Mount Fuji by the artist Hokusai, and it's a famous work. It's called 36 Views of Mount Fuji. And like any self-respecting woman in her 30s, I decided to make it all about me. So this is View of the Poet's Body of 36, number 5. The knees are slow bolts of pink lightning, still boomerangs of creaking support. The body is bent, doubled over. The face is a passionate agony mask frozen in flushed stone to answer the door that startled the body out of bed, the running down the stairs, and then the hurt. Unfurling with broad wings like a visitation with good news, be not afraid of this new bounce that comes with new ache. It is a sign that the hormones are working. The breasts are alive. Like St. Theresa of Avila, this is a kiss from a sword of searing sunlight, a suffering in Bernini marble, a hurt in golden ecstasy, a visiting angel of fire in the chest, a reward for faith in the body, that with enough belief and daily prayer, there will always be miracles and new ways to hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one more reader. And then we are not here at the end yet. Which, I love the title of the book. I'm looking forward to the celebration. So Lillian, is it Lillian or is it Win? It's Win. I'm so. Please give it up for Win. I know. Yes.
That one's my fault for my handwriting. I just have a short one. It's still a work in progress, but I don't know. I've just been trying to say something about this, so this is my attempt at that. It was written on New Year's Eve, so right now the title is just 01/01/2024. You are 25 years old and building a dresser on New Year's Eve, alone except for your cat who keeps running off with the screws. You wanted something this year to make you pick your clothes up from the floor, and you are too tired to go out after your shift at your second job. At 25 years old, you are younger than the internet. You have outlived hope itself. You work in customer service and carpet bombing, for there is a war across the world, and the taxes from your shift tonight helped pay for it. At 25, your mother was an orphan. At 25, your mother had a ring, a husband, son, a pension and a pearl necklace, and a lovely house to keep them in. At 25, you are nursing a death wish to the IKEA instruction manual for insisting that to build this dresser, somebody has to love you. Your cat is now watching you. You want to weep at how he is not afraid of heavy tools, not even the hammer. He's not afraid of anything. And though you don't know where he came from, it seems the world was kind before you met. You want to weep that the blighted streets of your country are kinder to hungry strays than your taxes are to foreign children sheltered in their mother's arms. You tell your representative that you do not support the war. You tell your representative that Palestinians are people too, that 40% of Palestinians are children, that children did not start this. You tell your representative that Americans are people too, that America must act like it. Your representative tells you they appreciate your call. Tomorrow you will fill the streets begging just once, America, for mercy, to learn that unshed blood is sweeter than ambrosia oil. Tomorrow your government will still be on vacation. You tell yourself you are capable of building a dresser, a life. You tell yourself that surely you are paid so little your taxes cannot afford a bomb. You tell your mother Happy New Year.
Thank you, everybody who's shared tonight. Yeah, and now it's time for our feature. Woohoo! And the new book, which you can get right here. ER did a wonderful job of doing the bio beforehand because they know me and Karen G forget shit a lot. But I remember you. You remember me. We remember each other. And look, you have a new book out. And I'm so excited about that. Y'all put your hands together right now for Alice Teeter and her new book, Here at the End, which you can purchase right here tonight. And guess what? Can get it signed. What? Like Christmas all over again. Come on through. Alice Teeter, y'all.
What a treat to be here with such fine poets, and I'm so pleased to hear you read again. I remember a series you read years ago. Still, when I think of you, I think of that series. I don't know the name of it, but anyway, new poets and old poets. I wrote this book thinking about global warming. I wrote this book thinking about that I'm closer to the end than the beginning, and my brother was dying. So it's dedicated to him, for my brother David, who left early to avoid the rush. And I stole that from a TV show, but anyway. Number one. Here at the end of the world, things don't taste as good, but they're easy. Plastic cups contain insipid coffee, and everybody's doing it. It saves time. 2. Will chipmunks still scamper across empty roadways? Koalas may not have enough numbers to survive. The heat index rises. Swamped and stamped with sizzle, we begin to float with it. Here, we are here. We all are together here in the end. The lovers, the haters. Who do you say is who? 3. What will we forget to do here at the end? Stir the coffee grounds so they sink down? 4. At the end of the world, do we carry our best luggage empty? 5. We hope the neighbors will stop for us. We've packed our coin collection and water, a few clothes, but we have no way to get there in the end unless they come and pick us up in their station wagon, the one with the missing hubcap, and 2 doors that won't open, and 3 windows that won't roll up or down. 6. There is still lots of life left. We are yet hopeful. We poison roaches, kill ants, exterminate weeds, savage spiders, croak frogs. Which has more synonyms, death or life? 7. Thick boats of magnolia leaves float on the surface of the pond. Here at the end of everything, the fish are shaded, succored by satisfaction, and the boat tied to the dock drifts, knocking against the piling as the planks warp in the sun. 8. The once mown field sprouts young pines. Here at the end, they spread out across the rolling meadow, bright green candles showing the way. 9. It is so quiet here at the end. Silence stretches for miles. A glassy sea becalmed reflects only blue sky, the hush complete. 10. At the end of the world, the barrow cracks open. The icing seems sweet, but the cupcakes are dry. 11. Here at the end, dust devils whirl. 12. Finally, in the end, the leaves begin to turn. One by one, they fall, drift into piles, change from green to yellow, or orange or red, then brown, dry, crumble, ground to dirt. 13. Soft rustling sounds in the dry leaves here at the end. The scratch of small furry creatures searching for bugs and worms in piles raked up by wind. 14. A cool breeze finally wafts in the windows that are all open. Here at the end, the fine hairs on your arms will detect movement, and you will turn your face into the wind that comes. 15. When you're fleeing the end of the world, do you take your long dead father's clothes if they are already packed, suits folded neatly in a good grip, ready to be zipped, closed, and lifted into the car? 16. Red, blue, and black suitcases, carry-on size, are stacked, waiting here at the end for the porter to come. One leans into another. They topple over onto damp dirt and are still. 17. In the end, a wonderful light, warm smell of juniper, scent of pine with every step into the trees. It's hardly a forest. A stand, a circle, a block, a strip left after everything else was bulldozed. Enough to give the illusion that there are miles of woods on either side. 18. She forgot the afternoon nap. Should she take it on the last day? Should she sleep those precious hours away dreaming? 19. Minutes are ticking. None grabbed, saved, stopped. Sand flows smoothly, evenly. Grains scatter across the rug. Small dunes build in the pile carpet. Unused, unusable. 20. Brown-eyed cows sniff the air, raise their horns, fling their heads. Here at the end, they're hungry for something sweet. But the apple trees are in the far pasture and the gate is closed. 21. In the end, loud tree frogs scream in the night, add their cacophony to the crickets and cicadas. Warm, moist air blankets the ground. The sounds are silvered edges, softened into saucers, to be lapped up, to be spilled onto long strands of grass bent by their weight into arcs over the dirt. 22. We sit on the rocks in the sun and hear the sound of one bird calling. A trill starts each call, a buzz in the middle of the phrase. We never hear that last finale. We leave before the song is done. 23. Will a wild face peer in the window at the end, frantic and searching? Will it be your face, eyes wide, white showing all the way around, your mouth agape, your nostrils flared, your hands spread out on the windowsill ready to jump? 24. Come on, come on, come on. It's time for the trunks to be packed. It's time for the car to be loaded. It's time to start driving to the end. 25. The ducks are still quacking. Even now they mutter, splashing in the wetlands, riding small rapids over clumps of greenery down into the deeper pools. They don't need to pack for the end. They are always ready. 26. Here at the end, an Angus bull, small and solid red, bellows mightily, munches the green grass. We watch, smell the clods of earth kicked up by his hooves. We are right down here with it, looking up at a blue sky, waiting. 27. Silence complete. No bee buzz, no mosquito choir, no scurry in dry leaves, no bird song. Mention these things and they sound again, only in a mind. They are no more. 28. It doesn't take long to fall asleep after lunch before the end. 29. What do we need for the end? Socks and shoes? Hats? Will gloves ward off or a coat provide? 30. At the last, she packs her bags, the small brown knapsack, a large blue valise with broken locks. 31. At the end of the world, gulls cry. Foam rolls up across the beach. 32. The rugs are all red when it comes. Frayed-edged flying dusty wrecks, feet of worn threadbare tracks through the piles. A dog has scratched a corner every night, circling to sleep, curled nose under paws warm in the understanding of food. 33. Sing, sing, oh sing and dance, step light at the end, a saucepan of milk for the cat, a gentle touch, a purr, let the notes soar, the shuffle stomp begin, turn to a prance, pick up your feet, throw your arms wide, welcome it in. What else is there to do? 34. Packing for the end of the world requires little thought, just a mad rush of hands grabbing what's close and a clatter of shoes on the wooden floor in the hall. 35. Here at the end of it, the traveling bags are stacked, a large pile growing larger as if waiting for the bellhop to take them to your room. 36. When the ocean gets here, we will be washed away, our bodies spreading out, sand castles left in the evening tide, dips and ridges evened out. By morning, we will be detritus, white bone fragments that litter the beach and are ground into sharp sand. 37. The quiet used to be broken by a leaf blower, hours spent every day clearing debris from the sidewalk, the yard, the porch. Now everything is slowly worn away by relentless wind. 38. Here at the end, all is consumed. Air, earth, water, fire, used up, depleted, the smell of burning tires, kerosene, a taste of ashes laced with charcoal lighter, the sound of hissing water rushes through pipes, vents a vibrant whistle. 39. No ringing bells, no loud hurrahs, no smell of wood smoke, no crackle of campfires, no popping sparks, no dog's bark. Here at the end, all these things once evoked are gone. 40. At the end, the shoes by the door, one turned on its side, clean of mud and dirt, waiting for feet to come, slip in, slide on, tie tight, and tromp, tromp, tromp away. 41. Confetti of yellow ginkgo leaves flutter in the sun and spin here at the shattering end. A mass of maple seeds whirl on the wind, glitter, spiral dance in the air, spreading brilliance everywhere. 42. Flowers mixed with a pattern, devoid of anything human, filigree of lacy shapes. Are the flowers abomination here at the end? How can they keep blooming when we are all done? Thank you.
And ER is going to close us out with an. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again to Alice Teeter. We have all of the books, all of the new books, and her back catalog. So if somehow you missed one of her beautiful books, you may purchase them tonight. Alice, I'm going to